Hey, my camera is working. Let's see if my audio works. Because that's if I mute it, it does not work. Oh, Lordy. Y'all, I have had the longest freaking week. What in the hell is going on? YouTube has done some shit to me. So, what the hell night is this? God, it's Friday already. Holy shit, who's on live tonight? I don't remember who's on. Hey, Loretta, what's going on? I am absolutely, completely on the wrong date, wrong time zone. I'm an absolute mess. Can you hear me, by the way? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Because if the airport Wi-Fi is not playing nicely, I will. Hey, Nunya, what's going on? Oh, God, Mad Shad's on, I think. Okay, I won't be on too long. Thank you, guys. Thank you. God, I'll tell you what, getting sick in an airport, in a hotel is awful. Hey, what's up? Off the Wall and Holly. Getting sick while you're in a class and traveling, and so you're in a hotel sick is just terrible because you don't sleep well at most hotels, and it's rough. God, I've probably slept 4 hours a night, and then we were doing projects and workshops and everything. So, hey Militant, hey Eloa, hey Love and Life, and Nunya, and Off the Wall. By the way, Off the Wall had a really good video a few days ago, and I can't remember what the hell it was called. I only saw part of it, and then I had to go to the class. So go find the channel and go poke around there. I can't remember. It was like 3-4 days ago. I forgot. Sorry, Off the Wall. Anyway, so I'm gonna share y'all a travel fail because I think you'll get a kick out of it. So my company has this service through our insurance called Teledoc, right? It basically is an app, and you can talk to a doctor. So I log in on my computer, I make an appointment. Doctor sees me. This is like Tuesday, right? Monday, I knew I was going downhill. Tuesday, I'm all sinusy and sick. And the doctor's like, well, have you had a COVID test? I'm like, no, but I've had COVID, and this ain't it. He's like, all right, well, get a test just to rule it out. But I would take, since you're over 45, take Tylenol, not Advil, because Advil can mess with your blood pressure. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. Hey, Astatine. Hey, Deanna. Hey, Holly. So, and then he says, what I would do is get a nasal spray, like a saline spray, and flush out your sinuses if you don't want to use a neti pot, right? That's the neti pot's the thing you put on your nose and it like flushes your sinuses. And I'm like, I'm not doing that in a damn hotel, but I'll get the spray. So I found like some generic saline nasal spray. And then I saw this new thing called Simply Saline from Arm & Hammer, and it was like a pressurized canister, looked like a little spray can, and I'm like, okay, I'll get that too, but we'll sit on that one. So I used the normal nasal spray, and it kind of started clearing me out, which was great. The doctor said it'll flush if there's a viral load in the sinus, to flush it out. And then, so Wednesday, was it Thursday night, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try this Arm & Hammer Simply Saline. So I read the instructions. It says, insert the little, has a little nozzle. Put the nozzle in your nose, the spray, and it goes up. And then wait 20 seconds, then gently blow your nose. And then do it with the other nostril. Y'all, I did not read the canister. I didn't get the regular, like just a saline solution. It was calming eucalyptus and menthol. Menthol is not calming. Menthol is minty. I didn't read that. I sprayed that shit up my nose. And I went from the roaming prepper to Mushu the dragon from Mulan in about 3 seconds. My eyes turned red. I legit went, holy shit, I just killed myself. I'm just still alive. Yo, that thing, I don't even know how to explain. And then I was like, well, I'm committed now. I may as well spray the other nostril. Holy cow. Like pollen from 7th grade came out of my sinuses. I about damn near died. And then I start, then everything came out, so I'm coughing stuff up. Fortunately, I was smart enough to do this. Hey, random. Hey, be good. Take care off the wall. Hey, Loretta. Hey, Deanna again. Hey, Lovin. Hey, random. Welcome. And I'm over the sink in the hotel room going, this was absolutely stupid, and it's my own fault for not reading the damn label. Y'all, it took everything out of my side. I just basically stayed over the sink for a while, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna take a shower. It's already 8 o'clock at night. I'm taking a shower. I'm done. So I go take a shower. Hey, Lioness. Y'all, I woke up this morning. My sinuses were absolutely cleared. I was shocked, right? And at least, I used the spray again, but at least now I was ready for it. And I was like, okay, this is minty shit. So I'm going to, be done and clear it out. But yeah, so I actually got through this sinus infection with Tylenol and the nasal spray. But y'all, read your labels. Don't go get off over the counter shit and like spray menthol of all the dumb things. So I call Sassy. I'm like, hey babe, you know what I just did? I turned into Mushu the dragon from Mulan. And she's like, are you drinking? I'm like, well, I was, but no, this is what I did. And I explained it to her. And she's like, you're a dumbass. So, it's bad when your wife calls you a dumbass from across the state of Texas. Being that, like, if I physically drove, it would be a 10-hour drive to get back home. God. So, anyway, infection. But as always, not medical advice, simply my experience with the product. Because otherwise, they'll put all of us in YouTube jail. God. So, have you guys seen the president's? I watched the State of the Union last night, and this is my imitation of the president. MAGA. That's basically what I got from the guy. I was shocked that he said Lakin Riley's name out loud. I just did a video last night, and I was absolutely livid that our young women, we already have our own assholes. We're importing criminals because we're not getting the best. We're not getting the best people from. Wow. We're not getting the best people. And don't get me wrong. I have friends from Colombia, Venezuela, who are like expats, like they fled the country. And people, hell, even the ones that don't have degrees, there are people here opening like Cuban bakeries and Venezuelan carnicerias, which is like a meat shop. Think of like the Brazilian steakhouses, and they're so excited to be in America. Like they are thrilled. And then you have these assholes that basically go and attack women. And he actually said her name in the State of the Union address, and even went so far as to say, "I'm going to give him fair benefit on this one." He actually said she was murdered by a man who was illegally here, and I was like, oh. And of course, the squad's head all exploded in the corner of the room, right? Um, he does, yeah, and he goes, duh, 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 and God, Holly, I swore he was gonna fart himself or something. But I was waiting for like what's the new Speaker of the House? Not McCarthy, the guy who replaced McCarthy. The guy with the glasses. Oh shit, I just blanked out. I was like, if Biden farts really bad, Kamala and what's his name, Speaker of the House, are just gonna bail. They'll be like, nope. But he plagiarized most of his own speech from last year. Yeah, I couldn't follow him. Johnson, thank you, Mike Johnson, thank you, Tennessee Tactical. Hey, Rip Curl. Um, God, it was just listening to him. So if you guys have not watched Angry Prepper, New York Prepper, or Hudson Valley, the New York National Guard is now in the subways in New York inspecting bags, which to me makes no sense because NYPD has always been one of the best police departments in the world. Whether you love them or hate them, they're always well funded, well trained. And if they are, why is the National Guard out? Like Hudson actually Hey, what's up, Merkel? What's up, Tennessee Tactical and Rip Curl? Thank you for joining me. Hey, Lee, what's going on? Um, the fact that we had to bring the National Guard in because they won't let NYPD do their job is terrible. And they keep saying the police are racist. At least 45% of NYPD are Puerto Rican and Cuban. And then there's a lot of black cops. I mean, this is not a racist department. They may be assholes and they may be rough with people, so fair enough. But if you have the biggest, best funded police department in America, in the world probably, and you have to bring the National Guard in because they can't do their job, there's something wrong. There's something very wrong with that. Um, the times I've seen the Guard in Texas, wherever it was usually in shambles. Like buildings were flooded, things were on fire, like it was bad to where you could clearly look and say the first responders have been overrun. But what is the National Guard going to do in the subways? They're not cops. They're not trained for that. People think the National Guard is a magic button. You push the National Guard button and people appear. If it's not in your MOS, you're not going to drive a semi. You're not going to fly an airplane. You're not going to be a very effective cop. So if you run out of MPs, what do you put infantry on the streets? The way infantry secure an area versus an MP is very different. And no drinking. Nasty Girls National Guard. I have no idea what that means, dude. But I'm actually taking up a spot here in the airport at one of the restaurants. I convinced the bartender to make me a drink before I had them close the bar, so I have something to drink. Hear about the female Mexican serial killer captured at an El Paso hotel? No, but I have police friends in El Paso, so I may need to call them and ask them. That's insane. Nasty Girls National Guard. Um, hey, farmer, what's going on? The dude. That's what infantrymen call National Guard members. Nasty. Oh, just another poke. Except for the engineers, they liked us because they're like, yeah, you have dead cord and heavy equipment, so you're okay because we can find something for you to do. But most of the guard engineers were half lunatics anyway, because we're too techie for infantry, but too psychotic for the Air Force. So they're like, we're putting you in the Army engineers, and that's where I wound up, which is terrible. I love me an engineer. If you were drinking, oh, random, I'll tell you what. I'm so I can sleep in the airplane, amigo. God, I've slept like maybe 3 hours a night because I just couldn't sleep. So the hotel I'm at was in Houston, and they were having a youth leadership conference. So basically, they put a bunch of college kids in a hotel with a bar and set them loose. And in the evenings, they were running up and down. They were basically playing grab ass and running up and down, drunk and smoking and whatever. And it was an utter commotion. And between that and me being sick, um, and I still sound like kind of funky, but by now I have zero shits. I'm like, yo, whatever. I'll Uber home and go pick up my truck the next day if I need to. In the airport in West Texas, it was like you couldn't sleep during the night, and then in the day we were just all zombies. Hey, what's up? So it was a party, but for everyone else, because I was like in my room. I looked like Snoopy when he was trying to sleep with my eyes real big in the dark, going, "God, shut up, kids." But to be fair, when I was that age, that's what I would have done. So I'm like, okay, they're just having fun. Drinking helps out with the O3 L405 pain. The dude drinking helps with the pain of people. Like I'm probably one of the more social engineers that most people know. And today I could not people. I got up, I went to work with my class and the class. So it was a class of engineers, sales, business development folks, and there were a group of us, right, from Colombia, Mexico, the U.S., Texas, Denver, Alaska. We came from all over the world, for this little class, and there were like a third of the class. It was like 15 people, and 7 of us have known each other for over 15 years. And the class went downhill so fast because we were heckling each other in the class. And the instructor finally stopped and looked at us and said, "All of you shits know each other, don't you?" And we all start laughing. He's like, "All right." So he totally changed the way he was teaching the class, and we had a blast. Like the instructor was having fun, we were having fun. Back pain. I could take a bigger stretch of strides. Walk. Yeah, drinking is good. You gotta moderate it a bit. Last night was a glimpse of Tater's vision moving forward. The shot he took at the Supreme Court justices was over the top. See, and Tennessee, that's what bothers me. Um, it was very. It wasn't constructive criticism. It was combative. It was bordering. I go back to the Saul Alinsky, Vladimir Lenin playbook. You keep accusing the other people of what you're doing so that everyone is looking the wrong way when you take power. And honest to God, there are people who they were on the internet after Trump won, crying, saying he's going to blow up the internet and we'll be in the dark ages. Like it made no logical sense. Like why? What? I mean, the man's an ass, right? He says bad things, whatever. But turns off the internet. Like, how did you get there from? He has a potty mouth. Like the behavior of didn't fall for the State of the Union drinking game. Well, no, Lioness, you don't drink for every lie. You drink every time he goes. He says a word that makes no sense. Like he goes, and then we went and we had Hufflepuff. What? That's a drink. What's a Hufflepuff? That's like Griffin Puff. You mix Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. What did he say? Then you drink. Um, it's the pain of your legs and knees and hips. Mine won't move very well. So so my wife calls me earlier today and said that apparently there was a strange animal in the backyard. So the corgis went out in the yard and they got all puffed up. Right, there's an intruder. So they were patrolling the yard and they were sniffing whatever it was on the ground. And so one of the females, Pepper, was sniffing whatever object it was. Bentley walks over, sniffs, and goes, "Oh, I need to mark that." So he lifts his little leg and he pees, but he gets his sister on the head. And she said, "That poor dog looks so sad." Then she went after her brother. So she said, next thing I knew, where she had the two potatoes are fighting in the living room, but one's covered in pee. So she said the dogs all got a bath today. It's like, did you get a video of that? Because I would have, everyone would, and the internet would have loved to see that. Snickleflitz, zombie, goblin, goo. Yeah, basically, he is telling us what's coming. He's telling us what he's going to try to do. And if you watch my video the other day about the Texas proposed constitutional amendments, that the Texas National Guard will not leave the state unless the governor blesses it or unless Congress formally declares war or an invasion. Um, I would never have jumped. I knew if I knew the pain. Oh, the dude, my son's feeling the love from. The dude and Lee would probably understand this. My youngest son is suffering from an injury right now that came back because he fell with a saw, the 249, down a hill on a deployment. Because the guy in front of him fell on his face because he said um, he was. My son described the other soldier as a weeble wobble and a dumbass and did not have his kit secured. And apparently, he tripped on his kit. He didn't specify what part of his kit. And my son was going downhill fast behind him, could not stop, and hence fell over the first soldier with the 249, and then went rolling down the hill, and he got hurt. So now the injury came back. I said, "Wait till you're 40, son. You're gonna love that." But yeah, it's So Texas, among the proposed constitutional amendments, the Texas National Guard will not leave the state unless there's a declared war by Congress, not the president, or the governor has an agreement with that state, like Texas helps Louisiana or something like that. and that they were going to institute a gold and silver standard as a possible means of commerce attacked to the dollar value for now in the state of Texas. And, when I first saw that, I was like, ooh, that's a little bit secessionist. But then I'm thinking, okay, let's look at it from a practical standpoint. If we're all of us here thinking, that Texas is my state of origin, first in my heart. Absolutely, Lioness. Yeah, oh yeah. I did civilian, so I get you. Falling on a big machine in your hand, with a big machine in your hands. Ouch. Yeah, no, not bueno. Uh, I don't know, dude. I was passed out after I turned into Mushu the dragon with that damn spray. But God, that was bad. I was trying to record it just to like forewarn other people about using the spray, and I couldn't see my phone, which was like 3 feet from me because I absolutely watered my eyes with that shit. Um, but think about it. If Texas is being smart, they're saying the economy is not stable, the federal government's not stable, the border is not stable. What if the dollar really takes a shit? We need an option. So I found it interesting, of both looking into precious metal backed currency. Lioness, if Tennessee and Arkansas did that, that would be absolutely smart to do. Because I very quickly would see like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Florida, like that whole swath of southern states going, nope, gold and silver standard, so they could keep running. Um, Police show up and reset the Wi-Fi in the town I'm in. Something happened. Fire alarm and security were reset. That's interesting. Hey, Floyd Stinson, welcome. Hey, Green Thumb, how are you, man? And Farmer, if I didn't say hi to you before. Um, it's been it's been interesting watching the evolution of shit in Texas. Uh, the sheriffs have been visiting the VFWs and the American Legions and the Black Rifle Coffees, which is like the unofficial. All the other idiots go here and talk shit, um, just to shake hands. Hey guys, I'm glad you're in the county. Um, you know, I hope I can count on you if something goes sideways, because the world's, and a lot of these guys are, hell yeah, this is our home now. And hey, Jetneck, it's interesting seeing that evolution. The sheriffs are paying attention. They're not all of them are stupid. A lot of them see what's happening. Um, Green Thumb, I am better, but I sprayed myself. Well, you watched the beginning of the video. I sprayed myself with like devil sinus spray and turned into a dragon. It's a whole story. Anyway, I should have videotaped that. That would have been funny as shit. Like, I would have laughed had I not had like stuff coming out of my nose and my coughing up and the whole 9 yards. Got rid of the infection like the next day, though. I mean, that worked really well. Um, y'all pay attention to what your counties are doing. Remember, by the Constitution, counties, sheriffs, judges, mayors, governors have a lot of power in the Constitution. Don't come get me unless you want the butcher on the back. Dude, you know what? Man, you and I'll run the drone, you spot me, and we'll just call out the tangos, right? I'll just be like, hey, look at this guy, and you just spot my drone and then relay coordinates and let the young guys handle it. Are you stuck in an airport? I am. Well, I got about 15 minutes, and my gate is actually that way. Yeah, my gate's like 5 minutes over there. So I was yeah, the reason I'm in the airport, we were in the class, and the class was going to run till 5. My flight was at 7:45, almost 8. And one of my coworkers who's flying back to Alaska and another guy's flying to New Orleans, he goes, dude, I just realized something. I'm like, what? He goes, spring break starts this weekend. We better get our asses to the airport because security's gonna suck. I'm like, oh shit. So like we talked to the instructor, we like bailed out, and we all showed up here, and there was no one here. Like I have TSA pre-check, so I just blew through the security, and I got through the little screening, and I don't even have to do that thing that goes around you. Like they scan my ID, and I don't have to take my shoes off. Nothing. I mean, it's the best money I spent. Anyway, we went. I get through security, and then I get a beep, and I get this random beep, and they're like, "We have to wipe your electronics." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I have to unload my whole bag, and this young guy's like, "I'm sorry, dude. I'm like, it's cool, man. I get it." And then he puts the little wipes in the scanner, and it goes do 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 do, and I guess it decides if it's terrorism or not. Maybe there's some explosives or something bad. And then it said, "Oh, clear." And then he just gave me all my shit back, and off I went. So, but I got here early so that I wouldn't have to battle security. But like, security's empty right now. I'm looking at one of the gates, and there's like two dudes there. Like the TSA guys are joking with each other here. I don't chase the snake into the cornfields. I set on fire and then wait for the snake to. Probably not a bad idea, buddy. Hey, KP, what's going on? By a big tsunami. Ooh, I don't know, bro. I have a trick card that gets me. Neil, that is not a bad thing to have. It's thin roads right now. Prepare to stay home for spring break. Moonsprout, actually, that's my plan. I'm gonna stay close to West Texas. We might take a trip. One of my coworkers might have tickets to the Texas Tech game, and another guy has A&M games. But A&M games get super crowded, and Tech is a very fun school too. So we might go up to Texas Tech and spend the night there and go hang out. But not taking your shoes off to fly would become a privilege. Esteteen, absolutely. No, to be fair, when I went through a school regarding people who do bad things years ago, they kind of explained why the shoe thing happened, and I was like, okay. And it was more than just that idiot who set his underwear on fire. You remember that fool? There were other people trying to do shit that involves shoes and underwear. And thankfully, they don't make us take our underwear off because I'd absolutely moon TSA. But you want to see my underwear? Boom. And then you read about me in the news. This dumbass. Uh, but no, the TSA folks were pretty cool. Um, runs down to the Gulf, parallel to the Mississippi. Oh, well, you know what, Lee? The New Madrid faults tend to follow rivers or vice versa. So, like the Colorado River, if you follow the San Andreas Fault and the larger shelf section, is actually it's all part of that California shelf, and the river runs like almost parallel to the fault line. So that's like, if you're ever geologically trying to understand where faults may be, watch where the big rivers go. They tend to follow one another. That's scary. That said illegals get to bypass. Who's texting me? Like what? Uh, oh, it's the boss. He's like, "Are you dead?" No, I'm not. My boss is a worse sense of humor than me. Like if I could ever convince him to come on YouTube, especially if we're both drinking, that would be a hoot. Um, Sorry, guys. Uh, Apparently, I can't spell, and it's not a drinking thing because I'm spelling better than I did this morning. So, um, but anyway, folks, watch your watch your counties, watch your local or your local responders, your local officials, because they're getting keyed in on stuff. And at the end of the day, your mayor lives with you, right? It's not like the president doesn't, he's from wherever the hell he is. He doesn't give a shit about us in Texas or Oklahoma or Ohio, but your mayor, your sheriff live with you, all right? And if I were the sheriff, whether I was a political guy or not, I would assume I'm not completely stupid. I'd be like, I need to take care of home. So watch what they're doing and start the chainsaw. You gentlemen, ladies, have a good night. All right, the dude, thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Flying Boeing airliners now is pay to pray. Yeah, that's the truth. I think I'm actually flying a little Airbus, one of those mini regional Airbuses. Those are cool planes. If you don't bust your head on the freaking, apparently Europeans are all skinny and small. And, a big guy, taller guy like me, I smacked the shit. I have a buddy who's like 6'6", a big string bean. He busted the shit out of his head in one of those regional airplanes. And then he was pissed and he's cursing all the way to his seat. I'm like, dude, man, I told you, duck. You didn't listen to the Spanish kid behind you. It's your own fault. Um, oh, for the record, just so you guys know, allowed through TSA. That's a asylum allowed through TSA. They did not bust me. Um, Also, little Tylenol, stuff like that. Uh, so I would pre-pack tourniquet. I've gotten through um, tourniquet. No knives. They threw out one of my knives a month ago because I forgot it was in my bag, which was my own fault. Um, Flashlights, small bottles of meds, and liquid under 3 ounces. Uh, Flying is a white knuckle and gray goose event for me. And Lioness, after the week I had where I'm already sick and I have to be in an airplane and I know there's storms coming, I'm like, it's going to be a sucky flight. I've downloaded Godzilla, the new Godzilla, where he fights that angry tick looking thing. Um, so I'm going to watch Godzilla until I either pass out and hopefully I sober up in time to drive home. People in Republic of Michigan admitting that you must have law enforcement. Huh, interesting, Farmer. What seat do I like best on the plane? Believe it or not, I love the aisle seats. I don't like window seats. See, because again, my degree is actually aerospace engineering. I keep looking out at the winds going, that airfoil is not right. The rudder's in the wrong position. Then I freak myself out because too much science. So I sit on the inside because I'm closer to the bathroom. I can stand up real quick to stretch my legs, and I'm close to the alcohol, which I've had my fair share of booze today. So I think we will stop. Window seats to watch the world turn. So metal, if I'm flying overseas, like to a new place, I'll try to get the window seat so I can see the city. But honestly, like when I flew to Buenos Aires a few years ago, believe it or not, you'd think not, but that was as long a flight as going to the UK. Like it took me freaking 8 hours, 12 hours. I was dying. I could give a shit about the skyline. I'm like, I want to get out of this tuna can with this dude who farted back here and the crying baby, and I want to go to my hotel room and pass out. So, hey Tony, welcome. Yeah, militants, stay dangerous. And also participate if you can. So if you can be part of your local CERT, civilian emergency response team, there's some really good teams out there. I've met them. If you could be part of your city or county emergency response, even if you just sit in on the meetings and listen, understand that when my wife asked me why I went back in the state guard in my 40s for 4 years, I told her I want to know what's going on. I'd rather be part of the response locally. And I wound up with CERT for a little bit than be in the dark not knowing. Like before Harvey hit, a bunch of us knew that there was a distinct possibility instead of 10 inches of rain, we'd get 54 inches of rain. And it turned out we got 57. And we knew we had that heads up. And actually, when I watched the movie Leave the World Behind, where the guy says, everyone thinks we're controlling it, but what if nobody's in control? That wasn't too far off the point. You never know exactly what's going to happen, but if you can get that little heads up, like think about it. If I told all of you, hey, I have 100% information that the economy is going to collapse in a week, and it did, and you actually said, oh shit, I have a week, Let me do what I can. How much of an advantage would that give you over everyone else who's going to be out there freaking out? Think of COVID. We were all watching, all of our community, we're watching COVID back in like December of 2019. Like, that doesn't look right. The Chinese are freaking out. And come March, people are pouring gasoline into the tarps in the bed of their truck, basically made a big Roman candle out of it. And we were watching them going, that's not preparedness. That's freaking terrible idea. It's hey book club, what's going on? Back of the plane is safest. Safest place is usually the back of the plane, is what they say. I usually wind up sitting in the back because the company won't pay for nice bougie seats unless I pay for them. But yeah, so anyway, folks, word of advice. Lately, there's been a lot of airport delays. So if you hit the airports, give yourself an extra 45 minutes if you can. If you're willing to do TSA pre-check, I know not everyone's cool with that. It really does help me as much as I travel. And yes, you can bring a flashlight. You can bring small bottles of meds. You can bring a tourniquet. You can bring a first aid kit. And as long as the scissors are not pointy, they're like safety scissors, they don't say a word. A TSA will let it go through. Where I screwed up on my last trip a month ago was I actually left a legit knife in my bag because I forgot it was in there. So, hey, Tracy, no worries. Hey, Magic. So, folks, I'm about to that point where I probably should head over and stumble over to my airplane and start watching Godzilla so I can get caught up. I was at the point where that the Muto has taken the submarine and dropped it in Hawaii, and they were fighting in Hawaii. So I'm gonna go watch the rest of the video. Anyway, you guys be safe. Hey, Nostradamus predicted. Nostradamus was not completely wrong. He did some cool shit, but no Mac 11s. No, no. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you guys be safe out there. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know this was completely on the wrong night. I probably trampled over several people. Um, but I did want to say hi to all of you. And guys, be safe. Pay attention. But like I always say, be calm. Plan it out. Um, the fact that we're here talking about this shit puts us ahead of 90% of the people out there. So take some solace in that. And, you guys be careful out there. We'll see you later.